right, welcome to a different kind of test. This isn't about what you know, it's about how you think. Today, we're going to put your brain to work with what's called the reverse thinking test.
So let's just jump right in. Before you even hear the puzzle, you should know that a staggering 80% of people who try this get it completely wrong. Yeah, only about 20%, 1 in 5, actually figure it out.
So, the real question here is, which group are you going to be in? Are you going to fall into the same trap as the majority, or are you part of that 20% that sees through the noise? Let's find out.
Okay, listen closely. Here's the puzzle. Boss Wang buys a pair of shoes for 30 yuan. A customer comes in and buys those shoes with a 100 yuan bill, but it's a fake. Now, Boss Wang doesn't have enough change, so he takes the fake 100 to his neighbor and gets 100 in real money. He goes back, gives the customer the shoes, and 60 yuan in change. Later, the neighbor realizes the bill is a fake, comes back, and Boss Wang has to pay him 100 real yuan. So the question is, how much money did Boss Wang actually lose in total?
Okay, if your head is already spinning with all those numbers, don't worry, that's totally normal. This puzzle is a classic for a reason. It is literally designed to trip you up. Let's talk about why it's so tricky.
See, our first instinct, what almost everyone does, is we try to follow the money from Boss Wang's perspective. We try to create this little mental spreadsheet tracking every single yuan coming in and going out.
And when you do that, it's just a total mess. You're thinking, okay, so he's down 30 for the shoes, then he gets 100 from the neighbors, so he's up 70, then he gives away 60, so he's at plus 10. But wait, he has to pay the neighbor back 100. So does that mean he lost 90? Or maybe it's 130 because of the shoes. You see? It's a maze and it's built to get you lost.
But what if I told you there's a secret key? A way to just slice right through all that confusion and see the answer instantly. It all comes down to a powerful little idea called reverse thinking.
So, what is reverse thinking? Well, it's pretty simple. It's the art of solving a problem not by charging at it head-on, but by completely flipping it around, by looking at it from the total opposite point of view.
Let's try it right now. Forget about Boss Wang. Seriously, forget about his shop, his neighbor, the change, all of it. Instead, let's ask a much, much simpler question. What did the scammer, the guy with the fake bill, actually walk away with?
When you look at it from this angle, all that complexity just evaporates. It's gone. The scammer gave Boss Wang a worthless piece of paper. What did he get back? He got 60 yuan in real, actual cash. And he got a pair of shoes that cost Boss Wang 30 yuan. That's it. That is the entire transaction from the scammer's side.
So, let's just do the math. You've got 60 yuan in cash, plus 30 yuan for the cost of the shoes. The scammer gained exactly 90 yuan worth of value. And in a simple two-party exchange like this, whatever the scammer gained, Boss Wang must have lost. The answer is 90 yuan. It's clean, it's simple, no confusing math required.
Now, this is way more than just a neat trick to solve a brain teaser. This way of thinking, this mental tool, can unlock solutions to some really complex problems out there in the real world. You can think of it like a strategic shortcut. You know, when you're just pushing and pushing against a problem and getting nowhere, reverse thinking lets you just stop, step back, flip the whole thing on its head, and often you find a much, much easier path forward. And it doesn't just work for numbers and logic puzzles. It can be incredibly powerful in navigating, the messy world of human psychology and relationships. Let me show you a really fascinating example. So the story goes, there was a wife who was getting really frustrated because her husband was coming home super late every night. And her first instinct was the conventional one. She tried to force the outcome she wanted. Okay, so her first approach, the force approach, was to make a rule. If you're home after 11 p.m., I'm locking the door. And what happened? Total disaster. The husband just stayed out all night. So she tried the complete opposite. She used reverse thinking. The new rule was, if you get home after 11 p.m., I'll leave the door unlocked for you. And the result? He started rushing home to be on time. Crazy, right? So why on earth did that work? Well, here's the key idea. The best systems aren't about forcing someone to do something. They're about finding a way to pull on their own interests. Locking the door was a punishment, but leaving it unlocked? That tapped into his concern for her safety, for their home's security. He wasn't being forced anymore. He chose to come home because his interests were suddenly aligned with hers. We've seen how this works for a puzzle and for a relationship. So now, let's bring this back to you, because this is a tool you can start using in your own life, like today. Here's how you can do it. First,
Think of a stubborn problem in your life, one where you just feel like you're hitting a wall. Now, and this is the most important part, you have to stop focusing only on what you want. Instead, flip the entire situation around. Look at it from their perspective and ask yourself, what does the other side really want? What are their interests? Then you just have to find a clever way to pull on those interests to get where you want to go.
And that's really the thought I want to leave you with. Think about your job, your family, maybe your personal goal you're struggling with. What is one problem you're pushing against right now that might just open up if you stopped pushing and just started thinking in reverse?